What's up, YouTube? Welcome to my channel. My name is David J. Kelly, and if you're new here, thank you so much for joining me. I think this video is going to really help you. Make sure to stay all the way to the end. We're going to talk about why being singularly focused nearly destroyed my life, and I think it's something that a lot of people can really relate to, especially in our modern world. So make sure you watch all the way to the end. So without further delay, let's get into it. And I think the best place to start for this video is going to be explaining a little bit about myself so you have an idea of what I'm talking about here. I am a lot of different things in life, right? I'm a metal vocalist of the band Tethra. I am a bodybuilder pursuing a pro card. I own my own coaching business. And I'm somebody that considers myself like a deep thinker, somebody that really pursues personal growth and development. You know, I think a lot of times in the world, we're made to feel like what I just said is not okay, right? Like you should only be one of those things, like a bodybuilder or a coach or a metal vocalist or whatever. And if you are the collection of those things, that what's going to end up happening is that you're not going to be very successful because you're kind of like a jack of all trades, master of none, right? That's kind of what is, I think, both consciously and subconsciously beat into our heads from a very young age. I actually think that this is something that is completely untrue if you really look at the reality of the world we live in. For example, most of the people that I look up to the most or think are most interesting, they are multifaceted people. They are people that have had success across multiple domains. They kind of built that success as they were going. You know, I think that's what really drew me to being like that when I was younger, but I suppose it's probably always how I've been. I'm currently 31 years old. As I have been in my professional and career life, you know, I have felt the need at various times to lean really hard into one of these directions because the reality is I haven't seen the progress as fast as I would like. But really, the reality is who of us does see that, okay? Now, I think the problem becomes that we see when we look out in the world, whether it's on social media or whatever, these outlier examples of people who accomplish things really fast. You can see this in bodybuilding, you can see this in music, you can see this in business. Whatever your career or whatever your hobby, whatever your passions are, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. Now, for me, where I found this to be kind of problematic is that the last couple years here, I leaned really hard into bodybuilding and fitness. There's nothing wrong with that. Like for 90% of people, they are going to be singularly focused, excuse me, and that's going to not be a problem for them. Being my most authentic and true self requires me to be focused and to be seeing progress in all of these areas of my life. What I realized is that as I leaned too heavily into that one singular area of my life, I found a lot of both progress, yes, but also not feeling fully like I'm living out my authentic truth and my authentic self. And in talking to people, I find this to be very true for a lot of people. And the reason I think this happens to a lot of us is because as we go in life, we feel this need to like mold ourselves into something that's easy for people to understand. Especially in my case, as somebody who wants to put themselves out there, who wants to grow a personal brand, who wants to have success in their life, I think it's very easy to see how you can feel the need to, you know, construe yourself into this easy to understand individual that's robotic, that is easy for people to understand. But as I step back and think about it, literally nobody I look up to is like that, right? A lot of these people are very intriguing to me and interesting, and I find them to be successful because they are multifaceted and they are leaning into multiple things in their life. If you want to experience success in one of these areas or just one area of your life, I think that's totally fine, and there's nothing wrong with that. And in some ways, I probably envy you. But the thing is, when I look at it, and as I understand it, when you blend into this comfortable mold that society has set up for people in these domains, right? What ends up happening is you're just going to blend into the crowd and be just another person. You can have a lot of success doing that. There is nothing wrong with that at all. In fact, that's probably a great way to build success and get your life moving in that direction. When it comes to truly being somebody who I think changes the game, so to speak, who has really big aspirations, can reset what people think is possible for their life, which is my entire goal. If I do that, I'm falling short of that goal. As I was doing this over these last few years, more with bodybuilding and fitness almost exclusively, I just felt deep down when I think back on it that there was always something missing for me, right? And that something for me was music, was talking about things that go beyond just fitness and bodybuilding and talking about the things I really care about, like, for example, making this video. But for me and the route that I want my life to go, what I want to be remembered for, and the difference I want to make, that's not it for me. And I sometimes think life has this weird way of pushing you in these directions to make sure that you do rediscover these things. Like, for example, in 2024 last year, I was dead set on winning my IFBB Pro card, and I came very close. I was 2 spots short of it in Classic Physique. But I think back to that, had I won my Pro card at that juncture of my life, I probably wouldn't have had these realizations and come back to a more authentic version of myself. Life is a constant, ongoing process of this. The thing is, like, I still have the goal of turning pro in bodybuilding, but I've also rediscovered that music is a big part of my life again. And the thing about that is that this year is a lot more dedicated towards bringing Tethra, my band, back on the map. We've had success in the past, but we want to take it another step further this year. So, we recorded 4 new songs that'll be coming out throughout the course of this year. And seeing myself, most importantly, as a vocalist again, as a musician, as a creative person. Because I think that's the biggest thing that happens when you are very, very singularly focused, is that you lose some creative freedom in your life to express yourself as you are. You're trying to fit yourself into a box. And for some people, they're gonna thrive in that box. For me, I'm not gonna thrive in that box. And if you're resonating with this and you're watching this, I want you to understand that this is something I've battled literally for my entire life. I mean, literally from as young as 20 years old, I have struggled with this, because sometimes it feels like a big mess for me to figure out, how do I present this to the world in a way that makes sense, that's cohesive. And so I struggle with that. And what I've realized is that as I lean further into this, and I've done a lot of like introspection and self-exploration with this, is that there really is no perfect way to conduct yourself in life. Like, it doesn't matter what you're doing. There is no perfect way. There is no right way of being. Every one of us is going to have to go through our own process and our own journey with things. And our timeline on that, when we become successful, when we get to where we want to be, is going to vary from individual to individual. Some people are going to hit that really, really young, in their young 20s, maybe even before that. Some people are not going to hit that until they're 30. Some people aren't going to hit that until they're 40, 50, 60. It doesn't matter. What my takeaway is from this video, and I want you to understand, is that nothing matters beyond being the most authentic version of yourself. When you're the most authentic version of yourself, and you lean into that more, you will find the success that you want comes to you, just almost organically. And I've seen this throughout my life at times that I was focused in the way I'm talking about. I've seen progress across all these fronts: bodybuilding, business, music, my personal brand, when I didn't feel the need to just be like so focused on any one of them. And seeing myself as I'm the amalgamation of all of these things. I'm not just one of them. Life tries to make you feel like that, even beyond like your professional life or the goals you have for yourself. If you think about it, you, as you're watching this, like, you're maybe a son, a brother, a grandson, a husband, a boyfriend, a worker, a business owner, a guitarist, like whatever these labels are that we have for ourselves, they don't define us. They're part of us. We are like the centrifuge of all of it. And so I think just getting that through your head and understanding that is like super, super important if you're struggling with what I did in that capacity. And remembering that life can be chaotic and messy, and that's where the growth happens. And that's really where you learn about yourself. So I hope you took something away from this video. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel, because I'm going to be posting a lot more content and sharing some advice of things that I've learned in my life, whether it be across mindset like this, or fitness and bodybuilding, any kind of growth that you want to experience in your life, as well as behind the scenes looks at my life doing all these things. So I will see you guys in that next video. I hope this helped. Have a great day or night, depending on whenever you're watching this.